Hi there, everyone. First of all, let me say welcome to my channel. This is my very first video, and I hope to do quite a few more on different topics that I think are important, especially for people that like to travel and see and do different things. Um, one of the big things that I think is important as a traveler is um, understanding history and how it plays into where it is that people travel to. I think it's important to make that distinction. Um, we all have, um, we all wonder about our grandparents and things like that, and where they all came from. And I think all of us are a part of history, and all of us, there's historical events that make us what we are. Um, and I believe places that we travel to um, are no different. I believe that history is essentially like the lifeblood that runs through a place. It gives you the understanding of why things are the way that they are in the places that you travel. And it also can give you some context of why things are the way they are in the place where you live because of what happened in other places. I think that having a firm grasp, or not even being a historical scholar, but I think having an understanding of how history plays in to the places that we go to as travelers is key to um, being a conscientious traveler. Is key to being somebody who appreciates the places that you're going to go to. Um, I think that it helps you understand why the people are the way that they are when you travel. It can make a difference in understanding um, if you have the perception that people are rude in a certain place or too laid back in a certain place or what have you. I think history and what has happened in that place can definitely play a part in the collective psyche of the people that live in the place that you're going to. And I think that's important to understand as a traveler because that can really make or break your travel plans or arrangements or what have you. So I think understanding history is one of the most important things that a traveler can can do if they're going to go to a place that's very alien to where it is that they came from. Um, like I live in Canada, and many of the um, many of the people that I know have never been outside of Canada, so they don't have a proper context in what, in some cases, is going on in the rest of the world outside of what they see on the news and TV. Um, so, because I've fairly recently started traveling and making use of my free time, is um, it was when I travel, I like to be educated on where it is that I go and what the things are that I'm going to see. But like I was saying, the the importance of having a handle on historical event and context of events is important to uh, it could make a difference on whether you have a good trip or a bad trip, mediocre trip, or it could make the difference of you absolutely missing something that you would be otherwise completely interested in seeing or doing. So history is one of those things that it's a part of everyone. So that's the important takeaway from this. I think history is also important to understand or have a proper context of why things and how things happened. Because places that you travel to, they're made up of what has happened to them in the past. For example, if you go somewhere and they don't have the same ideology or thought process as where you came from, it might be very alienating to you. So I think it's very important that history, or the understanding of it, um, is important so that you can understand the place that you're going to. It gives you a point of context on understanding the people and where it is that you're traveling to. I also think there's a very big difference in being just a traveler and a traveler that or what I call an enlightened traveler, or somebody who's relatively knowledgeable about the place that they're going. I mean, it's one thing to go to a place and say, oh, that's a beautiful building, or that's a nice statue, or something like that. Um, I think the opposite being knowing why that building was built, or the statue was created, or what its purpose was. Because I think, when most people travel, they say, oh well, that's a wonderful tower, or that's a wonderful painting. But outside of that, many travelers have no idea what or when items were created, or what their context was on when they were created, and the understanding of the time and place in which they were created. I think that's a very important thing for people that are traveling to understand, is that you're going to a place to experience their culture and their lifestyle, their way of life, and to understand something about them. Or at least that's at the very least that's what I do when I travel. Is I try to understand where I'm going. I read news reports and things like that to understand what it is that is happening with those people, even in the current time. Um, but I also read things like, histories, and if I'm going to a museum or what have you, I'll take a look at it. Or even sometimes I'll even do research on the hotel that I'm staying at, if it happens to be in an older part of the town, or what have you. So I think understanding the context of things that you're going to see um, will ultimately enhance your trip and your vacation planning. So that's a point that I usually take to heart. Yeah, so that's my little speech for today on history and how it can play into your travel plans. Um, I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not very polished and not very fancy, but it's my first video, and I hope that to improve them as I go, and hopefully I can take you to some more interesting locations other than my office and my home. Yeah, so I can also be reached at www.footstepsintothewind.com, and I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. If you just click on the links at the top of my YouTube page here on the left hand side, you will be taken to any one of those pages. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Please leave a comment below. That would be very helpful. Also, if you want me to make a video, or create a video, or have questions, or want me to cover something, I'll see what I can do. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional videographer, but maybe that will change. But yeah, I'm open to suggestions. So please feel free to contact me if you have any good comments, good, bad, or otherwise. So this is Jack Prophet signing off for Footsteps into the Wind, and have a great day. Thanks.